Let's make a sourdough starter together. Okay guys, it shouldn't be that hard. This is day 1 of our starter. So we are gonna start with whole wheat flour, half a cup of whole wheat flour. You're gonna put it in a clean, empty jar. Okay, we got it. So half cup, or about 60 grams. If you guys have a food scale and you're doing it that way. And then we're gonna do a quarter cup of warm water. Quarter cup of warm water. Got it in, or 60 grams if you guys are using a food scale. And we're gonna stir. It's kind of thick, it's a little bit thick. So a couple tips when you guys are making your sourdough starter. Whole wheat flour is gonna be a better starter, or like rye flour. And then on day like 5, when you go to start soon to making the bread, switch to a white flour, switch to a bread flour, something else if you guys want, but this is definitely gonna help it bubble up quicker and ferment faster. So we got this all mixed up. Once you get it mixed up, you're gonna just let it sit. A couple good things to do: keep it in a warmer room in your house. If it's winter, keep it somewhere that it's not gonna be, you want it to try to keep it between 70, 75 degrees. I told my husband, I said, we're gonna have to turn the house up to 75 degrees this week. 80 degrees even would be ideal. He's like, why? I said, because I'm making a starter. He goes, I'd rather not have bread. Okay, so then you're just gonna put it somewhere in your house. We're gonna let it sit for 24 hours. And then I'm gonna come back and we're gonna feed it again. I will bring you guys along the whole journey, but we are gonna have some yummy, yummy bread very soon. It's day 2. Here is what happened over the last 24 hours. Not much, and that's to be expected. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna uncover little Henry, starting to smell it. We are actually gonna discard half of this. Once you discard half, we are gonna add half cup of our whole wheat flour, or 60 grams, quarter cup water, warm water, and we are going to mix. And I noticed warming your water up a little bit does help rather than using room temperature. It just helps it a little bit with getting it started. Okay, you're gonna mix this bad boy up. Let's cover him back up. And we are gonna let him sit for another 24 hours. On day 3, you guys, day 3. And I'm actually starting to see some bubbles going on. And this is what we should see. We should start seeing bubbles. It is actually even starting to rise some, you'll notice. So what we're gonna do today, we are gonna take this off. We're gonna remove this. We are gonna discard half. You are gonna start smelling more of like that sour smell. Very normal. So we're gonna discard half. Ooh, we got a big rise out of it. And don't ever think like, oh, if I don't discard this, like half of it, it'll happen faster. Discard half. You have to do that part. You have to do it. And now, you guys, we are gonna go back to adding and feeding this guy. I'm gonna add half a cup or 60 grams of whole wheat flour right here. I need a smaller. And then we're gonna do a quarter cup water, or 60 grams. And I do warm water. We're gonna mix this. Okay, once it's all mixed, try to get it off the walls of it. We are going to cover, and we are going to put Henry up for another 24 hours. Keep him right up here. We are on day 4, and we are getting lots of bubbles. So this means the wild yeast, bacteria, it's all starting to come together. This is awesome. This is what we want. But for that really true sour taste of a sourdough bread, you do need to let it go. I mean, ideally like 6, 7, 8 days, if not longer. So we are gonna discard half of this and we are gonna refeed him. Henry is thriving, but we are gonna mix it. Okay, so let's discard half. You guys, and there's no like science, just discard some. It's not, you don't have to measure it out, just eyeball it, make sure it's about half. Okay. That's about half. But here's the deal. When it's starting to double in size, you guys can make bread. That you have your active starter. If it's doubling in like a good 3, 4, 5 hour span, you can make bread. It will rise. It won't have that sour taste until you get a little bit farther along. That's what it's gonna miss. But you can absolutely make some bread. So we are gonna add quarter cup.
Are you making sourdough bread?
I'm still doing the starter. I'll probably make after this. Well, maybe I'll make it tomorrow. Good job. I'm gonna go get a shower real quick.
Good job.
What else was I supposed to say? Oops, I missed half of it. What else was I supposed to say? I meant like cool. Woohoo! Okay, so if you wanna, so you're all ready for bed. Did you brush your teeth? Let's mix this. Everyone needs a middle school boy. They're fun. They're really fun. Promise.
I got
Never a dull moment.
with the watch on, but I remember just in time.
Oh, it's waterproof. That's fine. Yeah, these ones are nice and waterproof. Okay, once you get it mixed, cover this up. I like to mark where we're at to see how much she raises. Okay, this is the day. It is doing amazing. We are going to attempt our first loaf tonight from the starter. So what we're gonna do, I just discarded half of it. I'm going to feed it. I'm going to get my hair done. And when I get back, it should be doubled in size. It should be doubling within like 4 to 5 hours. I'm gonna feed it to 60 grams of, I'm actually gonna do white flour right now. There we go. We're gonna do 60 grams of water. Perfect. We're gonna stir it, we're gonna cover it, and it should be doubling. By the time I'm home, it should be double, and we are gonna start that loaf of bread. I'm so excited. Nothing is better than a homemade loaf of sourdough bread. It's delicious. If you've never had one, you've gotta try one somewhere or make one. Oh, it's so good. What's up? It is bread making day. So our starter doubled in size. That's what you want. When it does that, you know it has built up enough yeast and it's ready now to make some bread. So what we're gonna do, I have my food scale out here. Put my bowl on it. We are gonna start with 100 grams of your starter. 100 grams of your active starter. So this is considered active now. So 100 grams. I'm so excited. Okay, there we go. We are gonna do 350 grams of warm water. I should have reset my scale. Right there. Let me reset the scale before we put the next stuff. It's easier, just let it go up from 0 every time. So we zeroed it out. Okay, but first, you guys can use your little bread mixer, or you can use whatever you want to mix this. But you want to get these, we're also going to do 10 grams of salt, which is about that much. Okay, so you want to get those mixed up. And then what we're going to do, we're going to add 500 grams of flour. 500 grams. Nothing is yummier than a homemade loaf of sourdough bread. We love it. Oh, it's the best. Love it, love it, love it. Now we're gonna start. I gotta re-zero it out because it went to, okay, it's zeroed out. 500 grams of flour. 300. We are at, okay, and you guys could start with this, but then you're probably gonna have to get your hands in there and get a little bit messy because this just doesn't quite do it. And you're gonna need to use your hands anyway for the stretch and fold, so it's totally up to you. Okay, let's get our hands in here and start mixing. All of the sourdough. Okay, you gotta have some fun with it. Wait till it kind of starting to sit together. Let's get it off of our fingers. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna actually let it now sit for about 30 minutes. You're gonna want it to sit, and then we're gonna start our stretch and folds. You're gonna want to do your stretch and folds every 30 minutes to an hour. That's what's gonna help to develop the gluten and strengthen the gluten. So we are gonna let this sit. Now that we got all the flour mixed in, and that's how you know you're done playing with it, is all you have no flour like anywhere. You also want to cover it. Okay, so now let's let it sit over here for about 30 minutes. Okay, it's been 30 minutes. It's actually been closer to an hour. Best thing you can do is have wet hands for this part. So right now it looks like that. All we're gonna start doing is picking it up, folding it over, picking it up, folding it over, picking it up, folding it over, folding it over. And this is going to strengthen our bread. Just keep doing this. We're gonna do this every 30 minutes, about 3 or 4 times. Okay, my bowl's actually breaking. So I'm going to cover this, go wash my hands, and I'll be back in 30 minutes. Time to do our second stretch and fold. I'm watering the wrong hand. Adding water to your hand really helps your hand from sticking. So you're gonna stretch, fold, exactly like it sounds. And you'll notice each time you do it, the bread's gonna seem a little bit stronger. Because at first it was very shaggy and like, oh man, how am I ever gonna do this? But it's already feeling more solid. Okay, let's do that. Let's cover it up for another 30 minutes. And we are gonna do our last stretch and fold. Pretty strong. I'm so excited. Let's cover. Next thing is gonna be different. Okay, we did our last stretch and fold. It's been sitting here. Now it is time to shape and put in the fridge overnight. So let's do this. And then we're gonna have a fresh baked loaf of bread in the morning. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect for this stretching piece, but I like to get it into like a rectangle. I'm not adding inclusions in this one. I'm just showing you guys how to make a basic loaf because this is the best way to just make it for any time. You could eat it with pasta. You could eat it with, I have a good bread loaf that you can make with just a loaf of bread, but this is one you can never go wrong with. We have so many good recipes with like the inclusions. Oh man, the pizza one is probably one of the best, but you can never go wrong with cinnamon sugar bread too. Once you get it nice and out, we are gonna do, it's called an envelope fold. Okay, so you go halfway. You guys can't really see it, can you? Go halfway, and then you're gonna go halfway with this side. Now I'm gonna fold away. So we're gonna come in and we are gonna fold away, bringing this in as you do it. You wanna pinch in those sides. Bring them in, and then pinch this all together down here. Guys, it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so now I just wanna make sure it's nice and tucked and tight. So, okay, you wanna make sure it's nice and tight and everything's tucked. We are gonna now put it in a Banneton basket. We are gonna throw it in here overnight in the fridge. I'm gonna cover it and I'm gonna pull it out in the morning and we're gonna bake it. It is baking day. So what I did today, I preheated the oven to 475 and I actually had my skillet in there so that way it could heat up. Now I'm gonna pull this out of the fridge. What we're gonna do, we're gonna take the thing off. We're going to pull this out. We are going to score it and it's ready to bake. So this is when you guys can get creative, fancy. Some of y'all you guys take this real serious. I don't do anything crazy. I just do a score over there. I score it over here. And that's usually all I really do. You guys can absolutely do your little ones too. You guys can do as fancy as you want. We can do a few of these right there. We're gonna put this, you keep the paper on it. You're gonna put it right in your pot. I actually put a little splash of water in here with it. Let me grab that. Make sure the water is on the outside of the paper, not on the inside. And you guys, we're gonna put it in the oven, covered for 30 minutes. And the loaf is done. Our sourdough loaf is done. Who's ready to see our crumb? Okay, guys, it smells so good in our house. This is where everything is put to the test. Let's see the crumb. Oh, I'm so excited right now to have a big old piece of this. And I actually want the end piece, so I know that's weird, but I want the end piece. We are gonna have it with a little bit of, I love this Kerrygold butter. I'm so excited for this bread right now.